Hello, this is Wmpyr here to talk about something a little bit different. The topic is my problem with Panantukan, which is Filipino Dirty Boxing. Okay, yeah, so I'm here to address the issue that I have with that. Okay, I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all, but I'm telling you what I'm seeing all across the board, which to me is a problematic area. So when other people are training Panantukan, this is what I notice. Okay, a punch is coming at you, and you're going to use a destruction, right? An elbow destruction against their punch, and that's great. So you do that, and then from this position, you're going to go ahead and enter into close range. So you're going to spike the opponent with the elbow. Now, there's different ways to do it. There's different formations, but you're going to go into close range. You're going to bridge the gap. So after you land a destruction against their attack, which is defang the snake, then you're going to get in close by spiking, by landing the elbow right into them, and then now you're in close range and you fight there. Okay. So that's the general idea, and that's where I have the problem. What is the actual problem? And I'm going to try to get as direct as possible. The problem that I have with that is if the bad guy, your opponent, had a knife, you closing in like that, you spike them, they stab you in the stomach, potentially you could die. So that's the problem that I have. If they have the ability to knock you out with one punch, because on the street they might be bigger, they might be way stronger, because they're a lot larger. In sport you have weight classes, in the street you don't. So yeah, it could be way unfair. And if they have the ability to knock you out with one hit, so even though you might be covered up here, they might hit you in the body or behind your head, back of the head, or just on the back of your neck. They might be able to knock you out. So then to me, that's no different than being attacked with a knife, because either way, they could finish you with one attack. All right. And this is to me also the same with a firearm. If they had a pistol, once again, they could possibly finish you with one attack. So whether it's a pistol, whether it's a knife, whether it's a punch, if they have the ability to finish you with one attack, then all three of those weapons to me is the same. There's only one way around that, only one way to deal with that, which is to control the weapon. There's no other way. So if you're busy spiking, you are not controlling the weapon. Okay, one more thing, just to think about. Okay, destruction's cool, okay, but if you think about it, you are allowing their attack to come this close to you, because this is where you're going to take their attack. So the attack's going to be like, or it's going to be like around here, which is very close to you. Okay, so one mistake and boom. So it's much safer out here. If you're able to deflect the attack out here, that's much safer. So that is something that you must never forget. If you're just doing destructions, as a bag of tricks, something, ooh, here, I could pull off a destruction right here. I've always said to you guys, a system is better than a bag of tricks, a bunch of random techniques. A system is always better than that. The system, for me, the 4 ranges of combat, long range, medium range, close range, and ground range, it dictates that the further away, the safer you are. Long range is the safest. Medium range is dangerous. Close range, if they have the advantage in close range, then that's super dangerous. Best example of that is a prison knife attack, where the person bum rushes the victim and just repeatedly stabs them. That's in close range. And then ground, obviously, you could be totally finished on the ground as well. So it gets more and more dangerous as you get closer and closer. So that is something you should never, ever forget. That is the law of, that is a system law. So if you're doing destructions and you're pulling it off and you're feeling good about yourself, that's all great. But never forget, you should be going, oh, that's also, they're this close from landing on me, and it could be lights out. So you're playing with fire. And that's why you're going into close range. You're spiking and you're bridging the gap. So even if you don't know that, or because they don't really come out and say that, they say do destructions, but they're not telling you that destructions is actually, you are playing with fire because you're allowing an attack to get that close to you. That's why you're going to go into close range. So it even makes sense from their point of view. But going into close range without controlling their weapon is a risk. You have to control the weapon, whether it's a fist, a knife, or some other kind of improvised weapon, or a firearm. How do you control it? You have to grab their hand. You have to grab their wrist. You have to grab their arm. Okay, but ideally, you have to grab their hand. You have to. Okay, there's no two ways around it. So the one system that I've mentioned to you guys over and over again, which is if you doing this, what I'm saying right now, where you control the weapon, you're seizing their hand. As long as you do that, then it doesn't matter if it's sport or street, whether they have no weapon, their fist, their punches, or they have a knife, they have, a lead pipe, a baseball bat, or they have a firearm. It doesn't change anything. I'm still using one system for all of those situations. So that is the simplicity, because in a real life situation, there could be so many things going on. I need to be thinking about other things like, oh, there's a possible buddy over here that I need to worry about, or that's the exit. Is it being blocked off? Or I need to be worried about things like that I don't want to be thinking about more stuff. So I want one system to keep it simple. I don't want, okay, when I'm empty hand, I have a different system. When I'm against the knife, I have a different system. I don't want that. I want one system. So that's it for now. I hope that helps. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.